prevaricating and procrastinating onto the Rift we go for this marquee of matchups we have here today. Astralis.
Academy battle.
Indeed. XL versus Astralis, both doing incredibly well, honestly, up in the LEC. Both having a bit of a glow up here in the summer in the NLC. So, of course, XL, great regular season and then collapsed in playoffs. Astralis collapsed just in the regular season, let's be frank. It's been much better from these players, and we've got some very distinctive matchups to go through, as we said. Yasuo for M&S is something very exciting to see.
Another unique pick coming in together with the Zeri, if I'm not wrong.
No.
He brought another one.
Oh, he did, yeah, in the middle. Sorry, I thought it was Zeri on the Rift. Like, what? No one picked
So
Zeri.
he's brought Vex, he's brought... no, Zeri he played last season as well. So he's brought Vex, this split, and he's also brought the Yasuo in, which are unique picks, even from back in spring. Now, of course, here with the Yasuo, you have the easiest time of your life. You've got Body Slam, Gragas ult, Pillar, stand aside from Draven, ult from Rel. Like, you've got so many tools that can get you into a fight, and if these guys are bad and they can't get the job done for you, you also have your Qs.
Yeah, you can also do it yourself, exactly. You could go on full, you could go full Thanos and go, fine, I'll do it myself.
Right, if all four of them are terrible in the game, which they're not right now because they're 11-1 in the league, yeah, I don't like do the job yourself.
And M&S has kind of done that a fair amount. Currently at 18 solo kills in 12 games. 2.5 solo kills a game is nothing to sniff at. And of course, on a Yasuo into matchups where you can certainly look to brawl in those side lanes could be very interesting to watch. But early on, Taxa thinking about paying attention to this bot side as FGG misses the crash down, but the Dread side also goes wide. Just very warning shots.
Very important here. Taxa has been known for his early game aggression lately.
Yes.
And the bot lane from JDXL is way too overextended. A little bit of a shining light. There is cleanse on Venza.
Is going to need to use it. Dreadstein is flashed away from, but it's going to leave FGG in a difficult position, but he will crash down with the aid of his Ferromancy and get out of there. But it is flash cleanse down from the Draven before he even hits level 2.
But if you look at the pathing from Dan, he's done red into Wolves, into straight Gromp. That is a level 3 he's going to hit straight after this Gromp, and it could be his turn going down towards the bot side of the map. Astralis is extremely immobile, can burn his flash with just one pillar. I think Kiba is moving towards the top side river. You will see there is a wave building up for the side of Astralis as well, and they need to overextend if they want to get this CS onto Crispberg.
Here we go.
There is no wards.
They come straight down. Flash for that Ferromancy. The pillar as well forces Crispberg to flash away very quickly, and they'll get the summoner. Going to try and turn this one as best they can as Dan stops 4 steps forward, rather, but can't get too much more done. They'll get an additional summoner, but not too much more.
Here's the thing. Why is Venza's Draven more dangerous for his team than any other Draven? Do you have the answer? Do you have the answer?
I suspect I might, but I think you might want to say it.
Right. So, Mystico has played it, Attila has played it. We have very distinctively said that their playstyle is more survive laning phase, build up enough stacks, and suddenly someone will int into you and you will cash in 1.3k gold.
Yes. Wait.
Venza is notorious for dying level 3, but now they're diving level 3.
Level 2. We might go for this one instead. Avoid the level 3 death by not even getting to that point. First blood to Venza's Draven. Surely about to fall down, though he's level 3 and dies. The prophecy comes true.
And Venza dies, level 3.
That's very unfair, because he did get first blood and got rid of Crispberg. But at the same time, it's just too perfect.
I was about to say that it's dangerous for Excel that Venza's playing the Draven.
I know.
You die level 3, you've lost all the progress you've made with all that duration stacks. But this time, he cashed in first and then died. So
cashing in gets him to level 3, and that's when he dies. It's just genius how to outplay the curse.
Cashed in, got his level 3, died like a boss. So again, JDXL are obviously notoriously known for tower diving, especially towards the bot side of the map, and they want to get the Draven ahead in the early. That means that they will dive Astralis because they did previously take his flash from that gank in the bot lane. So, if you want to say it, 100% kill participation for 3 members on the side of Excel.
Look, I did this for like 1 game. And you got to understand, you can't like wear it out.
All right, so
it's like seasoning.
It's for Scroody.
Exactly, Scroody. It was for Scroody's. Actually, very good Lilia.
Yeah.
And he deserved the praise and shout outs he got. Thus far, however, credit, actually, honestly, over to Dan for the 2 repeat ganks, managing to stabilize the lane and then get the kill onto the Draven, who is now with a Vamp Scepter over his opponent, which is a dangerous place to be.
So, if we put down the blueprint for Astralis and how they've actually been pretty dominant in the last few games, apart from the Singularity game, which I'm going to call it a hiccup, I'm not necessarily going to call it the teams that suddenly fell apart. It was a hiccup, it's whatever. The past few games have been extremely dominant. Please allow me to finish my sentence. Thank you very much. Go back into your jungle. The blueprint is Taxa is on a very proactive early game jungler, such as the Wukong or the Volibear. I'm going to stop right here because there's blood that's going to go down.
Oh, blood is in the water, and they're looking for more action in this bot side. FGG goes in on his Rel. Of course, it's his Rel. And the Ferromancy secures another one. The hemoglobin is iron enough in that blood to make this one count. Venza hopping forward, trying to get as many of these spinning axes to Workkeeper. Just about alive, but JDXL find another in the bot lane.
And this is another one. This time it goes to the Trundle for his troubles, of course. 3 ganks down the bot lane. Number 1 takes Aphelios' flash. Number 2 dives Aphelios. Number 3 kills Aphelios again. And this is what early game aggressive junglers do. Like the Jarvan, like the Volibear, like the Wukong, like the Trundle. They'll take your summoners and then they will repeat gank and kill you and get hopefully kills onto the carries. This time it was unfortunately Venza for them, but cast it in, but I think it's also pretty useful onto Dan's Trundle. That's going to be mainly frontlining for them.
Absolutely, and of course, let's give this some credit as well. Bit of a shout out to the bot laners in general. FGG versus Kiba. Both of these players got a talking about on the desk as well, but they've both been pretty stellar for their players, especially because Astralis has put a lot of pressure down towards the bot side over the last few patches, and FGG as well. That kill participation isn't that high, as in fact, the moment we speak about him, gets a little bit ganked out in the river, but FGG has been an incredible story, really, for the NLC, going from UKEL to NLC on the first place team.
And I think we had a pretty fun conversation in the green room, me and you as well, where we're like, 71.5% is not that high in particular, but if you think about the games where Kryze is solo killing, Dan is playing topside, Eminence is playing with Dan, Eminence is solo killing, obviously your kill participation is not going to be as high when you've got that many people killing things on their own without necessarily the need of a support.
Who needs your team?
If you think of Dusty Spring, where FCG was playing with Viking, FCG was literally Viking's shadow. I feel like this time Dan calls the shots more selectively rather than having the support behind him the entire time. And FTG and Venza, because they have played together, of course, one split, they're obviously really strong in lane as well.
Yeah, and honestly, shout out to Kiba as well, who is the one member Astralis changed between splits, despite their, frankly, very disappointing spring. This is the guy they picked up to go alongside Crisberg, and honestly, he's been a huge part of why this bot side actually looks significantly more dangerous than they did in spring. We've got ourselves a dragon alive, and 3v3 is certainly the look of it right now, because of course Herald has spawned, and something you mentioned to me was that Astralis love to move every member up here in summer.
In spring, that wasn't the case. Crisberg would stay bot lane and farm. Astralis summer will move everyone towards the top side of the map, will leave Crisberg in the mid lane to push, but this time it is a level 6 on the Trundle. He's into the top side river first. You will see that Eminence is blocking the entrance from people as well with the wind wall too, so it was really difficult for Astralis to make that transition. We have to see where that Riftl is going to choose to drop and who's going to take the turret platings, because if I was Excel, I would pop it down the bot lane. My Draven already has 1 kill. If you look on the summoner spells, yes, the Aphelios has flash up, but the Nautilus does not, so the target can very easily change, or you can choose to pop it in the mid lane right now, create some pressure, and then go for the dragon. Now, this is not going to be the case, but I feel like the most value cash-in would be give more money to your Draven, move him around the map, use him as a minigun. Yeah,
and you could see M&S and Dan were going to try and make their way down the river, but Astralis were wise to their attempted rotation and brought more members up in there, and I think XL wisely decided to back away from that rotation around. And topside, it's been a little bit of an island, as perhaps was expected. It's just slightly different champions than necessarily expecting. It's not Carlson on, you know, his Renekton from spring, say. The Fiora is, well, yeah, she can play in the 1v1. You know, it's traditionally more of a carry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's also a little bit of a misconception how Fiora needs to be on the
yeah,
of the
map.
Think that's
fair.
Attention. I feel like you leave Fiora alone in her own accord, she will get fed and she will get this farm and she will start pushing towers the second Gragas moves out of the lane, right? One of her big strengths is that due to her ultimate and the vitals, she can actually dive towers pretty easily. I just want to reiterate though that the early game for Fiora has been toned down. Her vitals have gotten a significant nerf in the damage that they do, or was it the healing? Her vitals have been nerfed.
Either way, yes, there's been some changes, less obnoxious.
No, her vitals have been nerfed, which therefore nerfed her ultimate, who uses all 4 vitals around the target. Now, JDXL are actually going to move all 4 members, which very rarely happens, and then it's to move towards the bot side of the map to do what we talked about, cash in more gold into that Draven.
Get 2, and there's the 4th. The Moonlight Vigil just goes wise. Dan was, of course, pretty low, having just soloed the Dragon. But they will get 4 plates, they will get more gold in, and they will continue to snowball this early game. And this was always a bit of a worry with Astralis. If Taxa doesn't get things going early, sometimes Astralis can fall back into old habits from Spring.
Absolutely, and this is exactly what Taxa himself has talked to us about, the fact that he wants to be more proactive and create the set. So, now that we're taking a little bit of a break here, let's lay down the Astralis blueprint on how they've been dominating the past of a few of their past games. So, Taxa on either Wukong or Trundle or Volibear, something that can create situations early, place towards the mid to bot side of the map. Either get skills onto Chrisberg or get skills onto Senkax. Now, these 2 members are very key because the macro for Astralis would be rotate everyone to Herald level 8, get platings, feed these carries more, then translate that into vision, and then get stellar team fights through your 2 carries being fed. And that's been the blueprint for so long. JDXL, though, never fall behind in the early. And right here, you can see also FTG and Dan are ready for another gank.
They're onto Vision, but Chrisberg has got flash heal, but not too much more. Dredgeline lands, but there's still the use of the crash down available. Maybe naded. FGG does get out of dodge, though. So I managed to pronounce that name correctly after a second attempt. And JDXL managed to extricate themselves from the attempted counter gank there from Astralis, but you can't accord it. Look, they look to put pressure towards the mid, the bot side. Mid is 0-0-0. Bot side, Chrisberg's died twice. Venza was up pretty much the entire gold lead of XL is on that Draven, the opposite number. And we said that sometimes when the wheels fall off, when those early plays don't work, things get very dicey for Astralis.
And I think it gets even worse when traditionally Chrisberg falls behind.
Yes.
The team doesn't seem to do very well. So even though Taxa might be more passive, that doesn't necessarily mean that he has fallen behind. But if Chrisberg falls behind, they lose a lot of their star power and their star AD carry, hyper carry in the late game. And having these Aphelios, you definitely want him to be fed. Also, Venza here is gonna opt towards the Kraken Slayer. Ooh. There's not gonna be no Eclipse, there's not gonna be no Shield Bow. Nobody needs those pesky life steals. It's gonna be straight up the Kraken Slayer.
River is dark and full of terror as the last breath comes through. The Ignite is there. And Dan with the Subjugate will bring the Fox down to earth.
Very well played. I mean, Eminence right here is literally set for success. Any button that JDXL presses is some sort of CC that will allow the ultimate to come through for the Yasuo. Senkax doesn't even get a chance to move blows. Both his ultimate though and his flash, which is very important. Keep the flash in mind because in 2 minutes time, second dragon is going to come up. JDXL is going to want to start stacking them and Senkax is not going to have his flash available. Also, look towards the top side. We mentioned a little bit how...
Bit of a attack onto FGG. Does have the crash down. No flash, though. Looking to try and maybe get over the wall. But doesn't quite use it. He's got a track repel now attached to Dan. And maybe they're looking to potentially punish Taxa, who has got flash and Stormbringer. Mage uses Kiba. Is hanging around and maybe looking to get something here as Venza walks away from the tower. And JDXL beginning to come around. FGG turns one around, though. I mean, Taxa's in danger. Has got the attract repel being used on him as well. Brings down the Sky Splitter. Big stun flash over the wall. So does Kiba. And they'll get double summoners and nothing more.
Is double summoners though, you mentioned it's so important for Volibear who wants to chase. Do you have the flash? You can actually Q flash into a target, stun them in place, get the follow-up going. Now not having the flash onto the Volibear, it really diminishes your chances of getting something done on the map. And again, who do you rely on to carry your late game? Ari's not necessarily going to carry your late game. That Aphelios is going to carry your late game and potentially side lane pressure from Fiora. But Carlsen has been a little bit quiet, and the second that Gragas does join the team fight, he's going to be a bigger force, which means the Aphelios is going to have to position properly, the Ari is going to have to position properly. One wrong move, you get caught by a body slam, you get caught by a cast, you get caught by any knock-up, and you're instantly gone. And you're looking for that pressure on the side lane from the Fiora. What can Carlsen output while his team is fighting 4 versus 5?
Absolutely, and a bit of a brief conversation on the itemization. Obviously, we mentioned the Kraken Slayer's a little odd. Blade of the Ruin King first on the Yasuo here as well. That's an older school build, but it's not the Immortal Shield Bow into the Infinity Edge 100% crit 2-item build we often see from the Yasuo. So bit of an adaptation here from M&S. I suppose there are quite a few health stackers, I suppose, to deal with.
Yeah, I really like this. The fact that Ari is stacking HP, the Nautilus is stacking HP, Fiora is stacking HP, the Volibear is stacking HP. You mentioned it as well, Kraken Slayer, Blade of the Ruin King. One deals true damage, the other one deals HP percentage. So Sundra also deals HP percentage, so they want to be shredding down these HP bars. As we mentioned as well, of course, all of these summoner spells missing from the previous skirmish with Astralis means that JDXL can just walk into this river, take the second dragon, give even more money to the Draven by taking bot side completely uncontested, and then they're gonna take themselves a trade the Herald on the top side of the map. Now the problem is, there's 4 members of JDXL towards the bot side of the map. Your mid laner might be in trouble right here, so you trade in Rift Herald for what? Let's see. So XL has taken Dragon, they've taken bot lane tower, and now they're getting hits on the bot tower, tier 2, with Draven, whilst there is a Rift Herald for Astralis. Depending on how they use that, we'll see if it's worth the time investment or not.
And generally speaking, of course, CS is not always the most exciting thing to bring up in a game, but you can see leads in every single role right now, and with the exception of support, where it doesn't count that much as bot side.
It's not worth the time investment.
It's not. The whole turret goes. So basically, you just watch Venza get first blood on the tier 1, then get tier 2, and yes, they'll get the turret charge on the top side, but it's only going to be the one turret traded back.
Yeah, right here, you do not have a lot of vision on the top side of the map. You've got Carlson on the bot side without teleport, he can't join. Senkax is stuck underneath his tower, which means if you try to pressure that tier 2 on the top side of the map, you're most likely going to be fighting 3 versus 4 at best.
Time, though, to talk about some of these pets. My days, look at the fluffiness. T. Jassy says hello. Thank you for saying hello. I am very happy to be greeted by you. So cute. What about this one, though?
You're very
Oh my days, God. Pippin. That is a regal look.
You know what this dog is doing?
What?
He's doing the Singularity vs Astralis game. Oh no, sir. I cannot have the win. You have it. No, sir. We need to reconsider this. Please have the victory.
I am well impressed with that sweater. That is a fabulous dog. Again, throw that hashtag NLC pets up there. As much as I want to have Ziggy on there every time, and I will continue to put pictures of my dog on there. Ziggy B. Wonderful. Volders again and Beatrice, the almost magnificent. Named after a D&D character of all things. But M&S
getting called, the TP's coming in.
Actually, they're going to get into him best they can. He's stunned in place. Has got the cleanse, though. Trying to get out this one best they can, but he's going to get knocked up. Going to get knocked out of the ultimate. No, he's not. Gets at least some damage down. Senka's now trying to flash out. Goes down to a flash. Body slam. 1-for-1 right now. Taxer has gone gold, but I don't think he's got anywhere to go. Venza gets that one. Cashes in again. It's a 2-for-2 right now. It's Carlson trying to get out of it. He's got a double. Actually, to his end because he picked up M&S. This Fiora now online. Venza not in this. It's a 3v2 right now until this Draven can catch up. Cries and Dan are tanky. But what can they do? Kiba, Carlson, Chrisberg on the wrong side of the rift.
They need to be covering Venza right there, because if he gets hit by 1 Q from the Nautilus, this is it. There's no ultimates available on anyone. I think we just dissipate completely the situation and everyone goes home. It's a 2-for-2 trade.
That it is. Venza cashed in again, but Carlson turns up to his first play and gets 2 kills.
This is going to be huge. If Carlson can somehow make this Fiora into a side lane / team fighting menace, this is what can help Astralis win. Because every time we see a short range AD carry, like the Draven, for example, like the Samira, like the Kalista, there's a lot of tools around the team that protect. There's a Jarvan, there's a Gangplank ult, there's a Swain. This time there's nothing, everyone is going in. Emin is right there, walks in river where none of his teammates are. Everyone's on the other side of the map, gets caught, ends up going down first. And even though, yes, you pop the ultimate, you get the shield from the passive, he gets the shot, he gives the shutdown over to Carlson's Fiora. He's gonna cash in on another one. And yes, Venza does manage to cash in his adoration stacks. I think that Fiora is going to be a huge problem to deal with for Cries on the side lane or even for M&S.
And, you know, credit to Senkax as well, punishing there, because, of course, M&S throws down the control wall, but just blind over the wall, gets in, forces that play. And, you know, it does end up in a 2-for-2, but it's a proactive play, and Astralis needed something, because it felt like everything was going wrong for them.
Yeah, I think they need to get something going. I think Taxa looked a lot from mid to bot lane. We can see the result of that, right? It hasn't gone the best. 0-2-2, 0-2-2 for Crispec and Senkux. These are the two pillars that Astralis really rely on in the mid to late game to actually carry them, and especially on champions like the Affiliate, that you need to be the strong hyper carry in the late game. When you've fallen behind, where things are not going very well, it's just a little bit hard to find the opening to do the damage. Making sure that you have a winning side in the game is so important, and for that to be a double-sided win as well, which is either split pushing or joining teamfights and winning through that, is even better for Astralis.
Problem though is they're still down over 5,000 gold. A lot of that is onto Venza, who has picked up a second item ahead of anybody else in the game, alongside of course that Vamp Scepter from earlier. So it is filthy strong coming into this Soul Point fight as Chrisberg has to Gale Force out early. Dan, tanky with the Subjugate, but does take some damage back. But look at M&S on the other side, looking for the engage. They only got onto Kiba, but he's surely dead to right. Will be taken out by the Steel Tempest. They're going for more. Taxa has to flash out alongside the old Chrisberg with no summoners left. Of course, no Gale Force. He burned it earlier. A flash forward from Venza, who wants his opposing number. And Venza will slay the Astralis AD carry.
And I think this was literally the wallet of JDXL speaking right there, because just purely missing every ultimate, he uses...
Senkux.
Senkux is gonna go down, most likely.
What?
Carlsen!
Raven looking to show them exactly who wins in a duel. You might be a grand duelist, but you are not the glorious executioner. Venza picks up another, a 1v1 with Fiora.
So that's technically a very delayed ace for JDXL. This is 8,000 gold now difference. This is Soul Point with Ocean Soul on the line. This is Venza cashing in on his 4th kill of the game, and everything is going peachy. 11
Oh my god.
1,000 gold up from Chrisberg. And again, we saw the shutting down Tax's proactivity in the early game, and hitting back with yours is what makes JDXL so strong. JDXL, a team that has never fallen behind this split in the early game.
I think that's something like 500 gold a minute for Venza. Something like that. That is pretty obscene levels of income. We're going to see this fight again, though.
See this fight again. Subjugate is burned instantly from Dan because he gets caught. No cask from Gragas. FGG tries to all but misses everyone but Kiba. Yasuo, then M&S ults Kiba, and you're like, surely these guys have wasted every single ultimate under the sun onto the support, but literally their wallets are filled with money, which have bought extra items, so they don't necessarily need the wombo combo. They can just run down members of Astralis one by one, especially when they're split like this.
Chrisberg ulted the wrong way. He ulted into the Dragon Pit.
I don't think it would have made much difference, I'm not gonna lie.
He meant he had no chakrams, he meant he couldn't... Oh, I don't know. It was sad to watch. It was a really frustrating... What FGG finds a mother of all magnet storms. Never mind talking about failed fights from before. They get the kill onto the jungler straight away. The teleport comes through from Carlsen, but Kiba's going to have to back, and they're going to potentially turn straight back towards the Baron, but maybe they will just take this opportunity to clear out the mid wave, get that mid lane tier 1, and take that as their prize instead.
Ka-ching! That is yet another kill. I think now you turn your attention straight towards Baron. You make sure you empty that vision from mid lane. This is 9,000 gold difference, 22 minutes in for JDXL, and I feel like the map is falling apart for Astralis. We mentioned how the only shining light is Carlsen. The only shining light
in, going to continue trying to take this one out. Carlsen has got the grand challenge, but he gets knocked up by a Steel Tempest. In come the rest of Astralis. They're looking to try and turn this one out, and M&S does have the Immortal Shield Bow that is procced, but nothing else. They will just about get out alive.
And leave a man alone searching for his solo kill in one game, you know?
So please, give me this moment. Everyone else like, no, we must defend our top laner. And let's have a look at this again, because FGG on the rel is another beast entirely. They knew he was coming, but it was just too late.
He finds a fantastic flank onto three members, and even though Senkux spots him, he spots him literally a second too late. His team ends up going down, Taxamendi ends up going down, and when you don't have a smite, you're very susceptible for these neutral objectives to be taken away by the opposing team.
Go again.
Dan.
Watch for Kryze, he's on a flank. He's going to be on vision shortly, but not before Kiba is left out to the wolves, or at least the samurai. Kryze gets that one, and M&S hunting for this volley bear. Will get stunned up, but there is the cleanse to try and trade this one out. So much damage. This is likely the solo kill he was looking for, but maybe not quite yet. As M&S dashing through as many people as he can with that E. Still now having to run away as FGG is going to be there, but 3-man Baron has already curtained in the mid lane. They're just going to get out as well.
Man, give me a game where JDXL are winning and M&S is not fishing to get his solo kill, baiting his teammates to die.
No one died.
Just so he can pad his stats. Was very close. Dax, of course, is going to be chased away. And of course, we take this game a little bit more lighthearted because JDXL are 11,000 gold in the lead.
It's a very big gold lead.
It's a very big gold lead. And of course, with the failure scenario being 0-3, being down an entire item to their opposition is a little bit difficult to come back, especially when you take in consideration a lot of the scaling aspects as well. Yasuo is going to be on his 3 items very soon. Draven, 3.5 items and stopwatch. You've got the Anathema's change, which I'm assuming is going to be onto the Astralis, who is the only one who can dish out any significant amount of damage.
I mean, seriously, Anathema's change plus the Moon Veil from the Realm means if you get CC'd by those two, the burst that comes after is going to hit like an absolute truck, and you're going to have nothing to do. Like, there's no... So anything like Mikhail's, he's got no cleanse. Chrisberg, it's a Steel Tempest, and he's about to get absolutely deleted. He's going to try and heal, but just can't do it. And now M&S hunting for some more. Will do it with the assistance of his support and top laner. And 2 members dead already. Your mid laner and AD carry the 2 players that Astralis is supposed to play for. They're supposed to snowball, and just like that, it feels like the game is over.
Yeah, there's only 3 members remaining for Astralis, and none of these 3 have any significant wave clear remaining among them. JDXL, full force, they have Rail ult, they have Draven ult.
1 game is the only thing they've lost this split, and it's the 1 blemish on an otherwise immaculate record, and this will be an immaculate game from the JDXL Academy team, of course, as I managed to go for their old sponsor, not their new one. A little embarrassing, but what a game regardless.
I mean, talking about dominant, Dusty had a pretty dominant